everyone, it's Lynette with Charm Grammy Crochet. How are you doing today? See, at the time of filming, it is Tuesday, May 6th. Tomorrow, for those of you that know, it's going to be our first Boggy Creek crochet along chat thing in the evening. It'll be on Lynanne's channel. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. I apologize, but I had forgotten about a late afternoon meeting that we have, and it's not near home here, so I may not make it back in time. But that's okay. Have a good time and enjoy Lynanne and Juan and Nancy. Lynanne from Nina's Knots Crochet, which is our host tomorrow. Juan the Yarn Addict and Nancy from She's Got Yarn Too. They're along with myself, we're the hosts of the Boggy Creek Brigade, and we meet normally on Wednesdays. But we took some time off, and normally we were just meeting to show the blankets that you guys have made and have donated to Camp Boggy Creek in Eustis, Florida. But when we did our final one for this year before the donations, everybody's like, what are we going to do on Wednesdays? So we said, oh, well, let's try keeping this going. But then we needed a break. So we took a break, and now we're starting back up. And apparently I needed an extra day's break. An extra week's break, I guess, because this will be a weekly thing. That's the plan, as long as you guys want to continue it. If you don't know what Camp Boggy Creek is, there will be a video. I will link it here if I can. And there will be maybe I'll stick it at the end, but I'll link it. So I think one of those card things or whatever. So you can see my explanation of Boggy Creek, which is a camp that we sponsor with donated blankets. And I bring that up because part of what I have to talk to you about is Boggy Creek blankets. So where have I been? I've been missing, I know, for like 2, maybe 3 weeks. So if you've been around, you know that we sold our house and we retired in January, and we started traveling in February, in a different camper than this one, that I am currently in. Our travel camper, this is a permanently parked camper that we've had and spend our summer weekends in for the, well, it's 11 years old this year, and we have used it as a permanent getaway, weekend getaway. This is our second campground, but we've been here, I think, 6 years. I think this is our 6th summer here, maybe 7th. You know what? I bet it's our 7th summer here. I think we started here the year before COVID, so whatever year that was, that's when we started here. This is Cuddy's Sunset Resort it's actually Louisville, Ohio, but Hartville would be like the bigger a bigger city, which is still very small. And so for the summer, we're here, living in this camper. So, so to really sum it up quickly, we had to take everything from our travel camper and put it pretty much into this camper. But this has always been a weekend camper. This camper is designed to sleep a lot, but not be comfortable. It's not a comfort camper. There's no comfortable seating in this camper. It does have a big U-shaped dinette, which is where I'm sitting right now. I like my dinette. I like the size of it in this camper. But this would not work in our smaller camper. The smaller camper has recliners and comfortable seating. It's designed for couples and comfort and like full-time living. This is not really. This was designed, we put 12 people in this camper to sleep, but you can't really sit 12 people comfortably, 12 people including those who are a lot of children. So we took the room that would be the bunkhouse or the kids' room, and we are turning it into like an entertainment room. We put a TV back there, bigger than what it was originally designed for. We took some of the sleeping space out and put some recliners in, which took a lot of shopping to get that'll fit into the camper. Or it's cramped. The recliners are cramped back there, but they're very comfortable, and Roy and I are comfortable sitting back there and watching TV, which is awesome. That's what we were, hoping for. So we've done a lot of shopping, um, you know, for the right furniture. We're just redoing this to be full-time living space instead of just for the weekend. And so the outdoor space we're changing around as well when it's not raining, but it's been raining a lot. So that was shopping days. But we got the furniture in. We bought a lamp today. We did some more shopping. I want to do some things to brighten it up, but I really don't want to change the camper. I know people do these whole glamorous remodels, and you know what? Neither one of us can really get down well on the ground since our knee surgeries. To like rip out the carpet, because this camper is an old enough model that it has carpet in the slide outs, which I really don't like. Not a big deal. But we're not replacing it. Not now. It could be. I mean, it is 11 years old, and it probably isn't a real big deal to replace it. But then we have, you have to replace the whole floor, and we just don't want to do that. I guess we could pay somebody to do it, and maybe we would over the winter time if people were here to do that. But I don't know that they do that here at the winter time. But I can find out, because I might do that if that were the case. But so we're just doing some little things to make it more homey versus, just sleepable space. So that's what we've been working on. And that's been taking up a lot of my time. We thought, we're going to leave everything in the small camper, so it's always ready to go. But all of our clothes are in there, so we had to bring those over. We don't leave anything in here in the wintertime. I could leave clothes, but why? I took them home and washed them, but now home is here, so all of our clothes were in the other camper, and we brought them over here. All of our cleaning supplies and anything liquid that would freeze, you can't leave it in this camper in the winter time. So we had all that. We have all at the other camper, and I can't buy double of that stuff because I won't use it all in the summer, and then I have to do something with it. So we're sharing. I don't generally. Prior to this year, I think I've turned this stove on 4 times. We always cook outside when we're here. He's got grills, smoker, and black top or black stone or whatever. He's got all that stuff here, and it's permanent. He's got a little, cooking gazebo out there, so he stays dry and he's in his element and he loves it. And we don't generally cook inside. Last year I cooked a couple of times in stuff like side dishes or whatever inside, but usually he does a lot of that even on the grill. So now that we're here permanently, we're doing more cooking inside, so I had to bring my pots and pans over. Just all of a sudden the other camper has very little in it and it's all over here. But that took some time. So, and then I'm exhausted, and we had to clean because this camper, as you can see, that's the back room slide out. But next to that we have a wooded area behind our camper. And that means we get a lot of little field mice that want to come in for the summer or in for the winter. And they can find little ways in. And we do things to prevent that, but they still come in every year. We have to clean because we do get visitors in the wintertime. Someone told me to put Irish Spring soap. Now, we've always done peppermint oil. That tends to be really good. You put it on all the surfaces and it helps keep the mice away. And dryer sheets are another thing that you spread those all over. They're supposed to help keep the mice away. So when we come in, we have to clean up all the dryer sheets, and I don't have a sense of smell, so I don't know if the place still smells like peppermint, but I bet it doesn't. But somebody said, put Irish Spring soap. So we did that. We had chunks of Irish Spring soap everywhere one year. And when we came back, the Irish Spring was all gone. They ate it. I'm like, these Northern Ohio mice are hardy. But I think it was chipmunks that ate the soap. And I saw very little mice evidence, but there was definitely chipmunk evidence. So I guess the chipmunks kicked the mice out, or the Irish Spring kept the mice away, but it invited the chipmunks to stay. I don't know. But thank God, and knock on wood, we have not had really ever any bad damage to the camper. Um, just cleanup stuff. So we've been really lucky with that, and we're real grateful for it. So I have taken now. I've got enough stuff done that I'm like relaxing in the evening and sometimes during the day because it's been raining and there's not much to do now that we've got the furniture purchased. We did go shopping today and bought a lamp to put back there. We bought a new TV. We've been to the storage unit a couple of times, exchanging and putting. We thought we could use a TV from home, but it didn't work out. So we put that, from our house that's in storage. That didn't work out. So we took that back and, um, the yard cleanup stuff we got from storage. And I visited my yarn. I said hi to the yarn room there, but it's all bagged up. I can't even see what's in it. So that was a little bit sad. But I know it's there and it's safe. And I did take advice, and some people said put some dry rid, even though it's climate controlled storage, put dry rid in with your yarn, for sure, just to make sure. And I did. When we put dry rid in the camper, when we winterize it too, they're come in little containers, and every year those have been. You can tell that they work. It just absorbs the moisture, so you don't get that musty smell. But the ones that I left in the storage unit look like brand new. I mean, you'd think I just set them there. There was no moisture, so that's good for my yarn. And in that storage unit, we also have like pictures, and I wanted them to be climate controlled because I didn't want to come back and have all my pictures stuck together and you can't tell who's who. So they're all in the climate controlled area. Actually everything is climate controlled. We ended up with everything being climate controlled, but specifically I needed that for my yarn, and I wanted like our clothes and stuff would go in a climate controlled area. But as it turns out, we just put everything in the climate controlled area, so that worked out for us. So now we're like settled in. There's some yard work we haven't. It's too early to do any like planting. So we had to rebuild the fire pit. Roy finished that today. We had to move it because we purchased a new used shed. And they moved it from another campground, and so we had to take the fire pit down so they could put the shed in. And those bricks have been here for a long time, and a lot of them were broken, so we got rid of the broken ones and purchased new ones. So we're doing some outdoor stuff. Oh, there's a big bird. When the weather is appropriate for that, we had some nice weather, and now it's been raining for about a week. It seems like. Seems like it's been raining for a week, which is good. I mean, it's spring in Ohio, it rains. Hopefully it won't rain forever. We have our golf cart back from storage, and we always keep it under a canopy, and so that's built, and like we're getting it together. It's pretty much together. We're pretty much good to go here now. My reorganization of like every single cabinet and storage space has been done. I mean, there is a little bit of a honey-do list, but it's gone from like this big to this big. So So we're doing really well. Um, and we get to see the family, and that's awesome too. That's the big reason for coming back and staying back for the summer is because, we miss the family and our friends. And so we'll be here for the summer. Those of you that have been around, you know that we were planning on going to Alaska this summer, but we are going to the Dominican Republic. And because of that trip, it was cutting short. We've learned in our travels that we originally thought we're coming back from the Dominican and we're going to take the next 10 to 12 days and drive straight to Alaska and spend the month of July in Alaska. But we've learned through our travels that we don't want to do that. It's a lot of work setting up and tearing down, even if you're just doing it for the night and driving and all the things that we will be passing along the way, we won't be seeing. And we don't want to waste our time. First, we'll be tired if we do that. We'll be tired when we get there. We don't want to do that. We don't want to be tired when we get there. But it's 3,300 miles from here to Anchorage, Alaska. Anchorage is close to Jan, the Alaskan crafter. About 300, I think, miles away from Laura, Mad Mimi's Crochet and Farming. And we were going to take a week or 10 days or however long they wanted to stay with us. But we're staying the whole month of July. And we were going to, as much time as they wanted to give us, we were going to use and do things with them. And we were going to stay outside of Denali State Park. So that's still the plan, but we're going to do it next year because with Lynanne and her husband Tom, Lynanne from Nina's Knots, next summer we're going to go to spring training where the Cleveland Guardians play and her team, whatever, I don't care what her team is. Nothing personal. But I don't know which team it is. Indiana team, probably. I think she follows an Indiana team. But I think they like two teams. And baseball teams, I'm talking. Anyway, several teams practice do their spring training in Arizona. And so we're going to do spring training in Arizona at the beginning of March next year. I'm not sure when. I'm not sure of exact dates, but we are going to go to see some spring training games. And we're going to go from there and work our way up to Alaska next year. That's the current plan. Just so you know where we'll be traveling and what you guys can follow us doing. Because again, I will do videos because I enjoy that, and I believe you guys enjoyed it too. So there will be videos, but so then we'll head up to Alaska from there, so we can see all the things that we would be not seeing if we just took 11 or 10 days to drive there real quick. We don't want to miss all the sights that we want to see. So that's the travel part. I've been yapping on for 20 minutes about some Boggy Creek and just camping stuff. Well, I guess it's life. For me, for us, this is life now. And now we've got life situated, and now we can talk crochet. I have been trying to keep up with Laura, Mad Mimi's Crochet and Farming, and her 50, what's it called? A year of dishcloths, 52 dishcloths, doing one a week. We are doing the summer ones now that it's spring, because we did in the fall we did the winter ones, in the winter we did the spring ones, and now I think we're into the summer ones. Yep. So this, I don't know, I don't remember if I showed you the last one that I did, or maybe last two. So I did this one. I don't remember what this one was. But I did this one. That was like 3 weeks ago. I think it was supposed to have something else, and I just didn't do that. Oh, no, wait, let me. Is this the shells one? Oh, it might be. Let's see. Let me, really quick. Summer Rose. No. Summer Shells. Bayberry Sundays. It might be 25. Now this book, get that one. This book is an Annie's book. It's available on, it's not that one. It's available on Amazon. Maybe that was the last spring one. Because it's not this one. It's this one. I think it's this one, Funfetti. That's what it is. It's that Funfetti one. And I did it in a solid color because I thought you'd see the pattern better. And all the yarn used in this is all Premier Home Cotton or Sugar and Cream, that kind of thing. Then we did this one, which was very small. Oh, excuse me, very small. I was really surprised at how small it was. And let's see if I can find it. I'm sorry, I thought I was prepared. I think come on, one more. Here it is. Here it is. Yeah, this is it. This is one is called Summer Rose. I know I haven't shown you this one. Now I did mine in with the background in this variegated. This was a really big Premier Home Cotton, one of those big skeins they used to, I don't know if they still have, but they used to have. And they put them on sale for like $3 or something one time, and I bought 3 of every color that they offered. And this is the end of one of those skeins, and I was just trying to get rid of it. Like, it's almost gone. I think I had like this much left. So that was the purpose for not having a solid color on the sides of it. I just wanted to get it done and get this done. And this is a very small washcloth. I was really surprised at how tiny it is. But look at the one before it. And then this one. Like, it's almost like coaster size. I don't know. But that's okay. I did it. And then this week, that ends tomorrow, we did the popcorn one, which was one I was really excited to do because popcorn is one of my very favorite snack foods. And I eat it all the time. This one was a little more difficult because of all the popcorn stitches, but because you really do the popcorn. But the words, they wanted you to chain so many stitches and then sew the words on there. I'm like, there is absolutely no way I'm doing that. I surface crocheted, and it turned out okay because I freehanded it, and it's kind of even straight. It's not fantastic, but it works. Now, what I did do, I used kitchen cotton, and it's a 4-weight yarn. But then I had this yarn that's like a 2-weight yarn from Hobie. I think it was from Hobie, that was yellow. And I like my popcorn buttered, so I was doing some with yellow, and so my top is bigger than the bottom. I'm just telling you in advance. When the white went in with the yellow, it kind of expanded things, which I knew would happen. So I didn't go as tall because it was really getting out of shape. So, but it still looks good. See, so here's my popcorn, and the yellow you can see in there is the butter on some of it, not all of it, because you don't have too much butter, isn't good. And so it's like bigger. Oops, straighten out here. it was like getting way bigger. So that's why I quit doing all of it in popcorn, actually, was because I thought, oh goodness, the top's is going to look like this. And it kind of does. But it's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. And then I wrote out popcorn in that thin yellow. And I thought it turned out really cute. So that is my washcloth. I have, the last time I talked to you, I think I was making mittens, fingerless gloves, and long fingerless gloves. And I showed you one done. I haven't touched those since. We came here and it was cold and I'm like, oh, I don't need that. And I got really tired of doing it. Even though it does work up pretty quick. I got tired of it. So I put that away and I haven't touched it. But I got, again, Laura. She is like my crochet muse, I think. She said she was doing Boggy Creek Blanket challenges. Her and Jan, an Alaska crafter, each picked out 2 patterns and said, make these blankets for Boggy Creek. Those patterns are listed in every one of my videos, has a link to a Boggy Blanket Brigade list of blankets that people have made, designed for Boggy Creek. And I put those 4 blankets in there as well. They did not design them, but because Laura was challenging, she challenged people last year with the Cat's Meow blanket, and I think we ended up with like 25 of them, which was really, really cool, because that would be like 2.5 maybe cabins of that particular blanket. I know there's going to be a lot of blankets that last year there were a lot of blankets of Trisha's pattern, Mama Swift. She did a Luck of the Draw pattern for Boggy Creek called Marshmallow Kisses. Fun pattern to do. I enjoyed doing it very much. I did that for her last luck. That was for Luck of the Draw 9. She did that pattern, I think. And I did it for Luck of the Draw 10 as well. And I totally, everybody loved that pattern. And Juan did a pattern, the Squiggly Wiggly. A lot of people did that pattern last year too. And I have yarn pulled from my stash to make that, and I really wanted to. But Laura picked this heart blanket with hearts all over it, and hearts are part of Boggy Creek. So Lynanne was doing squares. She had people send her squares. I have a bag full of squares from her as well to put together. And she was sewing a heart onto all of her blankets. Every blanket that she sends to Boggy Creek, all the squares that she puts together, she sews a heart onto. Well, last year when we delivered the blankets, they showed us their original logo, and there was a heart on it. And we're like, oh my gosh, look at that. So I went to do the heart blanket that Laura had picked out, because a really cool pattern. I mean, I thought I liked it. Look, the finished product is really awesome. I did the first row, and I wasn't enjoying it. So I put it away, and I made other. That's when I started making my gloves. And then I got tired of the gloves, and I went to pull it out and do like the second and third rows. Second row is a breeze. It's just single crochet, and you add the hearts in that you created in the first row. But you have to count every single row, so that the placement of things works out properly. Then the next row you're counting, and it's like even more. Like you just get a pattern flow going, and then you got to switch things. And it was, maybe now that I'm more relaxed, it would, like I got more of my life in order, it would be, it's only like a 2 or 3 row repeat, so really not, like, as far as that goes, pretty simple. But I'm like, yeah, it wasn't, I wasn't feeling it. So I pulled it out, but I still wanted to do hearts, and I wasn't sure what to do. And I started watching some videos, um, looking. I didn't look through Ravelry, which maybe I should have, but I was watching videos because I didn't know what to do. So, and I'm doing them, by the way. Boggy Camp's, all the cabins that the kids sleep in are color coded to red, yellow, blue, and green. And they paint like signs and stuff that tell you where, where you're going and whatever. And they do the primary colors. So I bought yarn when I was, after we left there, when we delivered the blankets, we went to Joann's, and I bought all those colors in big balls of Big Twist. And they're in this big huge elephant bag because I do elephants and it's close, you can't see it very well, but and so I put all those colors in there, and I said that, that's what I was going to do the heart blanket out of, and I couldn't decide what to do when I pulled that out. And then I saw someone made a purse with these little hearts, granny square hearts, and I didn't want to do granny squares, the granny stitch. I wanted a more solid blanket than that. So anyway, this purse had hearts like this, and that's way too small. I'd have needed to make a million of them. So I decided that I would put all 4 colors on every heart, and they're 8 inches, and they're 8-inch squares. So Boggy Creek blankets are 35 to 40 inches wide, 40 to 50 inches long, or a 20 or a 40-inch square. So if I go 5 by 5, that's going to give me a 40-inch square. So I started making hearts, and I did a whole bunch of hearts, and then I was adding to the outside, and so I did a lot of hearts. I ended up with 6 hearts of each of the 4 colors, and then 2 have red, so the green hearts, I have 2 with the red touching, and 2 with the yellow touching, and 2 with the blue touching on the green heart, and then the other 2 colors randomly, but opposite of each other. So so there's 2 with the green, then red, then this one is blue and yellow, so the next one is green, then red, then yellow, then blue. That's how I did them all. So no 2 are really the same. So 6 times 4 is 24. I need 25 because 5 times 5 across, 5 down is 25. So I need a different one. So I did this. So this is my middle row. Is going to be this one, and then this one, and then I need to do the middle square. This is the middle row. The very middle square is different. So I couldn't decide what to do. I thought, well, maybe I'll do just like a solid yellow square because yellow is bright, and the other colors tend to be dark. But that I wasn't thrilled with that, and I thought, well, maybe I'll do like a white square because I'm going to probably join with white just to brighten it up, because all but the yellow, they're darker colors, So then I decided, I don't know, so I was talking to some of the Zoom aunties, and Lynn said, do a white heart because white is pure. So do the center one with a white heart, and then that'll also incorporate joining in white to brighten up the blanket. I'm like, oh, that's white stands for purity. I'm like, how? I really like that. I really like that. So then I didn't know what I would do around the white heart. And I'm like, I like that idea, but I wonder what color is for like good health. What color represents health? Well, apparently green does. And I already have green centers. So that's not going to work. Well, but when I Googled it, that came up this little chart that said other, with other colors. And right under it, it said violet is for kindness, empathy, compassion. And I'm like, that's perfect, because Boggy Creek's main mission, for the kids to have a good time and to help teach them kindness. It's a big thing at Boggy Creek. And that's what the tumbleweeds are all about. The pom-poms they wear around their neck and give out to people. They give strands of the pom-poms, which they call tumbleweeds. And it's all about kindness. So I decided that would be perfect. So I had this skein of, this was a scrap from Nancy, and the color is called Neon Violet. I'm like, perfect. So this is my center square. I love this center square. I'm going to steal a phrase from Debbie, the Canadian crocheter. I love it so much. So it's got the purple for all the kindness, and then it's got, I brought in white, and then all 4 of the other colors, and it will be the center square of my blanket. So you can get an idea. It's going to kind of go like this. And I'm going to try to make it so that not really too many of the same color edges are touching. So that'll be the first side, is going to go like this. And then the second side, hopefully I won't put them together upside down. Then the second side will go like that. And then, so the purple will be in the center. I think it's going to be really cute. And I'm real proud of it. It's not together yet, but all the squares are done now. And I finished my center square this morning. So they're going to be put together with the big twist white. I have 1.5 skeins. I hope I'm going to single crochet it together. And then do a single crochet or maybe a half double border, because I'm going to be right at the 40 inches probably. And I don't want it to be too big. I'm sure they let it slide if it's a little too big. More than the 40 by 40. Well, the length I have plenty of, but the width, and it's when it's a square, what are you going to do? So anyway, that is what I have been crocheting away on. I was working on a test pattern for a top that they need to tweak. But I brought out some yarn for that, and now I want to make a top out of that yarn. Not specifically that top, because it needs, like I said, the pattern needs some work. But I started playing, it's True Blue, and it's 2 different color purples, and I'm like, oh, I need to make this. And I was scrolling through YouTube or TikTok or Facebook Reels one night, and I saw someone with a top that I think, that's it, I'm going to make it. No tutorial, she just had the top. It was one of those real quick, look what I made, and I don't even know who she was. She just popped up on my scrolling. So I'm going to make a top like she did. And it's going to be striped in the purples, the 2 different color purples. But the stripes are vertical, not horizontal. And the t-shirt, the top should be really easy to make. I'm really excited to do it. I think I can do it, no pattern required. I'm pretty sure. So let's cross our fingers and see how that goes. I'm going to start putting these together because I can. And I'm excited to see what one row is going to look like done. And then I'm going to work on the other rows of that. But I think like tonight, if it's raining and we can't be out with our friends, I don't think we'll be out with any of our friends tonight. Anyway, it's cold and yucky. I might start on that top. I have to pull out the other one, so maybe that's what I'll be doing all night, is just ripping out the wrong thing. And maybe I'll start the new thing. I'm going to try to be really better about putting out more videos, but you gotta have content, And this is a crochet channel and travel. So we did talk a little about the travel, probably longer than we talked about the crochet, but this video is now up to 40 minutes. Actually, it went way faster than I thought it was going to after not making a video for such a long time. But we are back home in northern Ohio, not a house, but you know, in our campground. And this is where we'll be for the summer. I right now don't have any summer trips planned. Just a long weekend camping with my sisters. And that's it for the summer so far. So I don't know if we'll end up with trips in the summer. I kind of want to. Now that we've been stationary and now we're going to be settled in, I'm like, now where are we going to go? It'll feel like a camping trip instead of a life, you know. Of course, I haven't mentioned that to Roy yet. We did, just on a side note, we did have to take Dee Dee into the camper doctor. She's under warranty, and there were some issues that we needed addressed. Nothing major. I'm really happy with our camper, with that camper. It's been a really good girl, and so I'm real happy with it right now. I don't foresee any problems with her in the future, but you know, the more you travel, the more they shake and things get loose, and that's just part of it. I guess you have to know that going in. But the things, like, she needed some adjustments on the doors, the entry doors. They're not like closing right, and so they had to do some adjustments there. And mostly just stuff like that, like little tiny stuff. And I don't know when it's going to be ready, but it should be. We thought we were going to get a message from them to come pick it up today. But now we can't pick it up till at least Thursday because we can't pick it up anymore today. And we're in no rush for it. We told them we, you know, didn't need it again until Memorial Weekend. And this campground is pretty wet. And this is where we're going to store it. They do allow you to store campers and boats and stuff like that. They have a storage area, which is also very wet. And we kind of don't want to put our camper there right now. So I'm like, well, you know, if they can keep it for a few days for this place to dry out, I'm all right with that too. So we'll see what happens. But we definitely won't have it before Thursday. But that's no big deal because we don't need her anyway. So cross your fingers that this turns out as cute as I think it's going to turn out. And I'm going to tell you something. This yarn is surprising me at how soft and squishy it is. All of these came from the big ones. You know, these big 1 pound size. They're called value pound. Now I know Hirschner's has picked up the big twists, and I don't know when they're going to start selling it, and I don't have any idea what the price is going to be. But I do like buying these big balls. I have a whole ton of small skeins of yarn. But I do like having them in the big skeins. You know, they're not as easy to carry around, I will say that. But any of them, I like the big skeins. You can get a lot out of it, you know. I feel like if you want a blanket, you can probably, you know, these hardly look like I touched them. Really, even when you like squish it down, it doesn't look like I took much out. But there, as I'm crocheting and as the big twist is going through my fingers, I'm like, this is so soft. I'm so surprised at how soft it is. And then I went to this skein, the smaller one, and it did not feel as thick and squishy. I don't know why. There's no reason for it not to. I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. But as I was, and I didn't crochet a lot with it because, I mean, this is all the whites in the whole blanket so far is what's on this one. But it doesn't, it, as I was crocheting with it, it just didn't feel as soft as I thought it would. So there's that. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Um, when I hope to be back in time to at least jump on for a little bit in the Boggy Creek Live tomorrow. If not, I'll see you in the next one because I will be there for that. I just we made these plans months ago, and it's important, so we have to be there, Boggy Creek or not. And now it wouldn't have been if we were still living in our house. It would have been no big deal to be home for sure. But we our campground was an hour away, um, so that's that. Life still happens. So we're gonna do life tomorrow, and cross your fingers that I make it for some Boggy Creek. If we're driving in the car, I might just pop in the comments and say hi. If not, I'll see you next week. And I hope to make more videos as soon as I have more to show you. So that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, all those things that YouTube likes. Thanks for doing all of that. Really appreciate it. Everyone that I mentioned in the video will be listed in the description box below. And check out the description box. I got some Boggy Creek stuff in there, and then there's the if you want to make a blanket, or even if you're just looking for cool stitches. Sometimes I like to look at blanket patterns and say, oh, I could make that into a top, or I could make that into, whatever. So give them a look. All right, guys. See you later. Bye bye.